Here we go, guys. So it's the fourth video in our Mythbusters series, and this time we're going to talk about content. One of the biggest complaints that we hear is 2K don't provide enough content, and I want to look into that theory, that criticism now, look at both sides of it and see if we can come to a conclusion. As always, if we disprove it, the myth will be busted, but maybe this will give you a perception, a different perspective on the situation, because I think it's down to a few key things, right? So let's jump straight into it, right? Let's talk about the content that exists. So this is before I'm recording this before the new season is announced, but we'll factor in what is coming. That's what we'll do. So let's look at this first. XP, very simply, this is 20 hours, 30 hours of a season. It's pretty rewarding. Diamond contract, Hall of Fame badge. It's an option pack. You get a Invincible at the end of it. Okay, the Invincible isn't great, but we'll talk about the other level 40 rewards in a second. And then you've got the additional stuff, right? You've got this, which I hadn't even seen, to be honest. I didn't realize you get 200 tokens and a half badge just for knocking out 43 with Invincible Steph. That's pretty good. But that's basically the outcome of the playoff agenda, so let's skip to that right now. Now, guys, playoff agendas is just not something I'm going to do, okay? I'm going to put it out there. These were done, like, the other ones were done for me. Some of these have been done for me, all right? I do not have the energy or the patience to do this. If anything, this is too much content for me. I don't have the time to do it. I really want that Invincible Steph, but it's too much content. I do not have the time. Just looking at this gives me a headache. I'm not going to lie. That's where we are. So it's probably, 30, 40 hours this. It's a lot. It's a lot of content, actually, when you start breaking this down. And we have completed some of them, but it wasn't me that did them. I did some of them, actually, but when I went away, someone was looking after my account and they did a bunch more. But yeah, I can't. It's too much content. It's too much. Right, so what else have we got? So we got these Beyond 40 now as well. So these are things that you could do. It's probably an hour or two for each one, and then you can get an option pack at the end of it. I'm going to use that to get Sabonis. I'm probably going to have to do that because he doesn't exist for me. And then you've got a bunch of other things, right? You've got this exchange event every week now, which is really good. 30 TT games, 15 TTO games. So that's more content. Again, that's time consuming. It's probably about 3-4 hours realistically each week to get that done. So they added a bunch of other stuff. Obviously, you've got these week 3, week 4, etc., which gives you a draft token as well, which is more content. There is a bunch of stuff, guys, that is just outside of it. You've got the collector level, which, for up until June is the main focus for a lot of people in this game, which again is more content. And you've got a bunch of other things that weren't amazing, right? Outside of that, these things are okay. Let me just see if there's anything I missed and the lifetime agendas that I've done. Yeah, nothing major. I mean, that disco ball was good because I got the unicorn ball, so the balls were kind of content this year as well, which was really nice. I love that unicorn ball. Then you had all this stuff, which basically just gets completed organically. Anyway, that's a ton of content right there. Just on that page alone, there's a ton of content, right? Single player. I mean, triple threat, you can play as much as you want. There is no limit to triple threat. Obviously, once you get to that top point, there's no real point playing on because they won't register the wins. But, then they will announce things like those weekly cards where you have to play 30 TT games. So there is content there. Obviously, there's multiple different things you can get from that. I'm going to talk about the weekend event as well now. So they're running weekend events every week. We've had Mikhail. Now we've got Juancho. So, again, a ton to do at the weekend. Domination, each of these is a 20, 30-hour grind. If you enjoy it, it's what I like to do when I'm just chilling. I play a bit of Domination just for fun. But again, it's a bunch of content. They've released them fairly regularly this season, this year. Challenges are interesting. It's kind of a mixed bag, right? The skill challenges, I mean, let's look at the other ones first. So they get these pack challenges every week, which is great. Some people swear by this stuff. They do them all the time. It's, not content for me, but people will do them. I like the holo challenges. I think it's good. It's pretty much the only use for holo players, but you get 75 tokens, pretty good. And then they've added in things like this now, which is a ton of game time, like a ton. I mean, this is 30, 40 hours to get Embiid. It really is. Once you've got all this done and you've got to play 34 games, it's a ton of content. And again, looking at all of this, it's interesting. It's interesting content. I've only done the ones I want to do. Again, guys, I don't play the game like that anymore. It gives me a headache looking at it. The pickup challenges are pointless, to be honest. I mean, it's content for the sake of content. Spotlights is fine. I've got to get the last few of these done so we can get that Hoff badge. But again, nothing majorly exciting. It's usually pretty easy. Signature challenges I'd like to see more regularly. One a week would be good. I think one a week would be good, but at the moment they're doing one a season. They used to update it halfway through the season, but they've just stopped doing that now. And activity challenges are pointless as well. I mean, you just get nothing at the end of it. So, again, unlimited gameplay here, a ton of gameplay here, ton of gameplay there. There's a ton of things to do. Right, clutch time. Let's go through all these really quickly. I mean, Clutch Time is the most fun mode, and this is where we're going to get into the other half of this conversation, which is, are you playing the game for the right reasons? I've obviously done a video on that. I don't want to repeat myself, but Clutch Time is a mode I will always play. There was nothing to do for the last couple of days, so I did a draft yesterday as a video. I drafted a team on 2KDB, went into Clutch Time and played a game. Like, that is content, guys. That's not content that 2K have given me. It's content that I've made. I've made the game fun for myself. The draft, again, you know, is fun. It is fun. I really enjoy it. You know, I had to do it 5 times this season, so that's a ton of gameplay. That's 50 wins in a full game. Probably 10, 15, 20 hours. We got quite a few rage quits, which was nice. It speeded it up a little bit. Triple Threat Online. Again, guys, like, it's unlimited. It's just unlimited gameplay. You can play this as much as you want. You don't need to stop when you get Kelly Oubre or, you know, Juancho. If you got him, I don't think he exists. But I played, you know, 13 times. I've run this board 13 times, haven't got Kelly yet. You know, it's endless gameplay. Once I get him, you know, the question is, do I keep playing? The truth is, I'm not playing for Kelly now. I'm playing for fun now. So if I get Kelly, it's a reward. And if you have that mindset, then there's unlimited content. Unlimited, guys, it's just terrible, right? But it is 100 hours over a season, realistically. You're doing Showdown, it's 200 hours, 250 hours. You're potentially spending 10 full days of your life in that season just playing that game mode. I've done it every season up until this season, and now I've got no interest in playing it. Again, it's a ton of content, but not content I'm interested in anymore. And limited every weekend, you know, you've got 3 days, and again, it's up to you what you do with it. Do you just play till you get the ring, or, you know, do you keep playing afterwards because it's fun? So let me just stop here before we go on. So let's look at this specifically, right? I want to look at the multiplayer section. This is how our brains have kind of evolved, right? We've got so used to receiving content, right? Let's think about this. I want to use the comparison of, like, food, right? You have to eat every day. I said this on stream yesterday. You have to eat every day, right? And it's like, the concept is, I'm not going to eat unless some food appears in front of me, right? Like, that's a mindset that we have. Like, 2K have to give me something to do, or there's nothing for me to do, despite the fact there's all this to do. Right? You know what I mean? Is it making sense? Like, we used to sit on a sofa. Before online modes became as big as they are, we used to sit on a sofa next to someone, and I know I sound old. We used to sit on a sofa next to someone and just play. We just play another person. We wouldn't get any rewards. We wouldn't get any XP. Like, we wouldn't get a high five from a community on Twitter. We would literally just play the game. We just, two people would sit side by side on a sofa and just play the game for fun. Nothing's stopping you doing that right now. What was the content back then? Why did we have so much fun playing games if there was no content? We've conditioned ourselves to go, unless 2K give me something specific to do, there is no way I can enjoy this game. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to do is the craziest sentence in a game that you can literally load up at any point and just play someone else online for fun. You're misguided, guys. It's just, like I said, I use that food analogy. It's crazy. You wouldn't approach anything else in your life like that. So why would you approach this? Right, let's move on with the content, and then we'll get back to my final point, really. So packs, again, they've kind of stuck to Tuesday and Saturday this year. The packs load. They've stuck to Tuesday and Saturday this year, which is good, I think, actually, because it gives the cards a little bit of time to hold their value before getting outdated the next day. I know people have asked for them way more quickly, but I think it's fine and it's good. I think the pacing has been outstanding this year, which has allowed you to continuously and slowly evolve your squad over the year, which again is content, guys. You know, if you get a team and you don't feel like you need to pick up anyone for 3 or 4 weeks, it can get boring. I'll touch on the tokens really quickly. This stuff is kind of redundant, apart from the fact that, you know, they've added things in here. They've had Hoff badges here every week, which is good. Nothing major. I do like the 2 Dark Matters we got this season. I know people aren't high on Anton. I really am. I think he's he might be the most underrated card in the game. And Oscar's fantastic as well. So good stuff there. And again, you have the additional stuff where you're grinding tokens to then go get these cards, which is great. That's additional content. So the token stuff is fine. It's nothing like off the charts, and it's not time consuming really unless you're grinding for tokens. Right, and the other thing, guys, this is another game mode in itself. Let's be honest. People spend 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day just sitting in here sniping cards. It is fun. I enjoy it too. I don't do it as much as I used to. But yeah, it's fun. So that's content in itself as well. Right. Then you've got the final things here. You've got the exchange, which, you know, has got better. Like I said, they've got these weekly events. Dennis Johnson wasn't it, but we've had some good cards. Malik Sealy was incredible. Evos have become relevant again. You know, again, adding new content on top of content, like Giddy and Ray Allen. I told you I did those 2 level 40s. They've managed to update both those cards, which is fantastic. Again, it's more stuff to do. Card grading is just the most redundant thing in the game. I mean, you're not going to grade a card unless it's for XP. MT Shoe Lab, I think, is a really underrated thing 2K have done this year. You know, the fact that you can pick the shoe, like the specific design you want for your player now is awesome. And then pick the specific attributes at the end of it is also great. Good stuff. Right, cool. So, now the question. Let's try and look at this myth and let's see if it is a myth or not, right? The question is, do 2K create enough content for the community? Well, the criticism is that they don't create enough content for the community. Honestly, guys, it's not true. It's just not true. There's two things here, right? The first thing is what I said earlier, right? If you feel like there's not enough content, you're playing the game wrong, guys. You've forgotten the kind of pure aspect of playing a video game is completely lost to you. And you've been overcome by FOMO and concepts like that, where you feel like you're only doing things for a reason and that you can't function unless there's a carrot in front of you to chase. That's a really bad mindset to be in, guys. Like, it's a really bad mindset. I could play happily 300-400 games of clutch time. I'm still playing it. I've already got both the rewards. It just doesn't matter, guys. You've got to remember what it was like to play video games without someone having to spoon feed you something to do. Like, you're your own person. Be creative. Like, be independent. Don't get tied to what 2K are doing. Because obviously if you attach yourself to what they're providing, of course you're going to be annoyed. You're relying on them. So if they don't give you what you want, you get annoyed. It's common sense. The other thing, guys, is the only other reason that people say this is people who overplay the game, right? There are people that will do all of this. Season agendas, the playoffs, all of this. And they'll get it done immediately. And then they'll go, oh, there's nothing to do. Guys, if you're playing this game 10, 12 hours a day, there is no video game in history that has provided that level of content. None. It's impossible. You're effectively asking them to provide content every hour of the day. Like, it's not going to be possible, guys. Like, it's so unrealistic. Like, if you're burning through this, if you literally jump on and go, yes, I finally got some content, I'm going to play it, and then you get it all done, and then you get to the end of it and go, oh, but 4 hours ago they gave me content, and now I've got nothing to do. Well, you're not going to get anything else to do. You did it all in 4 hours, and it's going to be a day until they even contemplate announcing any more content. So, guys, it's absolutely been busted. There is plenty of content in NBA 2K22 Myteam. It's all about how you approach it. Like, it really is. A mindset is everything in a game like this. But for me, I'm a purist. I go back to when I started playing video games, when I used to just play on my own, and then I started playing with my friends. And now we're at a point where we go, oh, this random company that I'm completely disconnected for, can you be responsible for my happiness, please? It's weird. It's a weird energy. I don't like it, to be honest. This myth has been completely shattered, to be honest. It's been the easiest one to do. Content's been fantastic. We haven't even spoken about the other things like Zero Gravity and a bunch of other things they've done this year to make the game interesting. I understand from a content creator perspective that you might not always have something to make a video about, but that's just the way it is, guys. Like, you know, there are big things that happen. They announced Wilt on Saturday. They don't need to announce anything between Saturday and Tuesday because from a gaming perspective, there is enough hype to sustain 3 or 4 days, but it might not be enough to sustain your videos. That's your problem. I'm sorry, it's just your problem. It's not on anyone else. Right, guys, that's the video. Let me know your thoughts, whether you agree with me, whether you disagree with me. It's all in fun, guys. Let me know below what you think. That's the video. Until next time, thanks for watching.